Jody, it was a pleasure to meet you. I really appreciate you taking the time. Before you introduce yourself to us and share a little bit about your story, I wanted to give some background on this topic and how we were spending our time with you today.
Yeah.
We have been for the last few months really sitting down with entrepreneurs and really uplifting their stories and really have honed in on the idea of individuals and entrepreneurs using their identity as an asset, as a way, as a form of inspiration to start their business, or as something that propels them to operate and run their business and differentiate themselves in the market. Often we talk a lot about the obstacles and challenges that entrepreneurs face given their various identities that they hold. But we don't feel like we showcase and shine a light enough on how identity is can be an asset, and so that other sort of positive side of the story. And so
Yeah.
that's really why we're sitting here with you today. And so to get started, it would be great for you to just share a little bit about your business. And I would love to hear you share, as you're giving us that background, in what ways did identity inspire you to start a business?
Okay, sure. So, so hi, Donald. So it's nice to meet you. And thank you for giving the opportunity to share my insight and my story. So your question was about the identity. So I'm going to touch upon that. But before that, I would like to introduce myself. I'm CEO and founder of a purpose-driven enterprise, Om Sutra, that I started in 2007. And the reason I started was because I had a deep desire to preserve the craft culture of my roots in India, because I believe craft is our identity and that is something to be cherished and preserved and not lost. Because that's who we are, like through our craft is how we identify yourself. And if it is not there, our main origin, our essence would be difficult, uh, to express. So I started my company Om Sutra, where Om is the sound of the universe and the Sutra is the thread that makes that connection more meaningful, while which is something that I designed my collection in the space of fashion, wellness, and home. It is a sustainable lifestyle brand that is uniquely designed by me, a thoughtful design, basically, I would say, for the customers who enjoys a conscious lifestyle. And it is handmade by artisans and underrepresented women groups from India. So the idea was how we can make that connection from east to west and make that connection more meaningful. So that's the purpose of my business, Om Sutra. You have the question about the identity. So I see like our identity is so important, and because that makes who you are, right? And that's how you differentiate yourself, and that gives you a persona about and it also like just not able to see you. Okay. So could you repeat the question again? Maybe like
Yeah, and I love that you were sort of touching on it, but in what ways did your identity inspire you to start your business? I know you broke down kind of the two sides of the name. And so would love to hear more.
yeah, so the two sides of the name, like Om Sutra, it's a fusion of two words. Like Om is the sound of the universe, and the Sutra is the thread that makes that connection more meaningful. So the whole idea was like how we can bring that craft culture from India, from the East, and make that connection with the place that I'm here now in the West, and make that connection more, like more meaningful. Because for me, like born and brought up and raised in the cultural diversified, and very vibrant culture in India, now I wanted to bring those essence to this country where I'm living now, having another home. So I have two home. One is India, another is USA. So
Okay.
it is a way like how I'm connecting, and this is my identity, right? So like how I'm just trying to weave the thing and making a unique identity for myself, for my business, and also giving a platform to those artisans, to those underrepresented women groups, giving them their identity as well, and making them feel proud of what they are, who they are. Because I believe like everyone, no matter who they have some talent, whether they are artisans or uh, any other person, like the women, underrepresented women groups with whom I work. So giving them this platform where they get to learn some skills, earn a livelihood, brings their identity, and that makes them feel happy and
Mm,
also empowered in a way that they can empower others and live life beautifully. So I feel like that identity is important no matter who you are
that's
and where you,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And you talked about both your own journey, but then the women that you support. And so how does identity influence the way you run your business today, and then also differentiate yourself in the market?
So I feel very proud about the culture of from where I am. And I appreciate the craftsmanships and also the vibrant culture. And that inspired me to start Om Sutra, where my identity, my identity is inspired me to build a platform that celebrates Indian heritage and empower the artisans. Because like growing up around India's vibrant tradition, I saw the beauty in our craftsmanship and wanted to share these with the world. So everything that I do is culturally authentic, where I look into the sustainability aspect, looking into how I can, like when I'm designing the collection or whether it's my business operation. So my identity about working around designing the product for Om Sutra or working with my supply chain or working with my customers. I'm prioritizing like the quality, the fair trade, connecting customers to the products with heart and purpose. So
Mm,
everything is all about the identity, because when we are talking about designing the product, that's a product market fit, you have to understand the identity of your target customers, who they are, right? And they will buy something that connects to them. So there you are also talking about how I'm relating my identity with the identity of the customers.
yeah,
And so like I feel like it influence in a wider way when I'm setting up the goals and looking into the different market aspects in my business. And
that's great. That's
yeah.
great. I'd love that the identifying those points of connection, right, between, your culture and your identity and that of your target customers. I think it's just a wonderful connection. What role does intersectionality play in your journey as an entrepreneur?
So, like, I would say, intersectionality is a center. It is completely like a central to my entrepreneurial journey, because navigating multiple identities, whether it's cultural, gender, or working with different artisans, having a different kind of skill set is, and empathizing them with their diverse experience of our artisans, and particularly working with the women from the underrepresented women groups, and building a brand around that, where we are trying to understand, uh, they are not only like, suppose artisan, they are not only an artisans, but they're also having another part of them. And then like there are the women groups. They are the women, but at the same time, they have different roles and responsibilities. Same comes with me. Like for me, there were a lot of challenges. But then when we are trying to see how best we can use our different like role and responsibility in our life, whether you're a mom, you're a wife, you're like you are playing so many different roles, and how you're using each segment and taking those things into consideration, and applying those things and trying to work around the challenges that brings on, and making that work for yourself. And I think that I would say like also trying to see like how we are making that connection more meaningful and creating
Mm.
some impact and creating that authentic connection between those different intersectionality. Uh,
That's yeah, that's great. I mean, I think it's about, what you're talking about is how do you think about your entire self, your whole self, and like
yeah.
that becomes that authentic way to connect with your community, connect with your customers, and really get towards the impact that you want to have. I know that we got connected to you through our WeNYC program, which is a program that provides women entrepreneurs in New York City with the skills and knowledge that they need to be, even more effective leaders. And so I would love to just, if you could share a little bit about, your connection to the We NYC program and the value that it has brought to you, or the value that you see in the program itself.
Yeah, so I would say like I feel very much connected like with the VNYC program and the people who run as well, the program out there. And it has provided invaluable resources, I would say mentorship and a network of like-minded women entrepreneurs who are also committed to building, like a purposeful, impactful business. And through the program, the VNYC program, I have gained insights into like strategic planning, marketing, and scaling that have helped me like streamline our operation and expand our operations and staying true to our mission. And I would say like for me, like VNYC, the mentors out there, they are now my friends.
Mm,
And I made that very beautiful connection, like uh, that I feel committed, like even though I have been to those session, I still feel if I have time, I just love to go and pop on and just to say hi. And it gives a very beautiful feeling of, like the community, because I feel that is so important. When we say the life of an entrepreneur is lonely, but
mm.
through programs, like okay, like the people now, and you have made that connection. So you just go and you are there, and if you are facing any challenges during those session, you can discuss openly. And it is like, like a close-knit like community where you can share and everything stays in the room. So I feel like it is very powerful, I would say, the community of VNYC. And yeah, it
That's
has
great.
yeah, it has encouraged me to think more like critically, and like how intersectionality and how Sutra can continue to support underrepresented communities, especially women artisans. So overall, I will say it has empowered me to lead with the confidence, clarity, and enriching my approach to creating a brand that resonates deeply with conscious consumers and making that impact more positive. So
That's great. I love that you've seen the impact and the goal of the We Master Leadership program specifically is about that confidence building and being an even more effective leader and female entrepreneur. But then also that community that you tap into and that network that I know folks have found incredibly valuable. And so it's really exciting to hear the impact that it's had on you. So my last question really is just kind of an open-ended one. What is there anything that you didn't get to share yet in this conversation that you wanted to share?
So I would say, like, when we are talking about, like specifically, right, in this conversation, we are talking about identity and how we are using that identity and making a best use for ourselves, right? And how we are leveraging that identity. So I would say, like, sometimes with the kind of identity we have, we face lots of challenges at the same time. Uh, but I would say that no matter like what kind of identity you have, you should take it as a, own it as, like I would say, like, have a proud feeling about it, and just go with the flow with what you want to achieve in life. Um, no matter what the obstacle is, and make your, the challenges the reason of your success. Does that correlate in some way?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jyoti. This was a fantastic conversation and really excited to hear more and follow your story as we move forward. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Donald. Thank you for taking time to have this conversation with me. It
Absolutely.
was, yeah, it was a nice experience sharing my story with you.
It's an honor. Thank you so much.